I got loyalty inside my DNA. I got peace, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA.
Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. It is I, back with the second chapter of this wonderful series. Sorry I made y'all wait so long, but it will be worth it. Exploring some very fun things. And yeah, I hope you like and subscribe. Stay for as long as you want. Get some snacks. That's what I usually do when I'm watching these videos. And tell me how you like it. Tell me about what you would want for the next part, because I actually haven't written it in advance yet. So it's actually a good opportunity to tell me a little something about how you would wish the next and final part to play out. Just give me a few suggestions. Oh, and as for the Yuji Sungjae reincarnation thing and the other option I gave you, I only gave you those two because I literally made it in advance and I just wanted to be cheeky. But yeah, I'll do that one quick. And yeah. All right. Let's get started. The door creaks open with Deku entering what seemed like an old apartment building, and on the floor he sees an old man. Oh my god. He runs to his side. He was on the floor with blood. Wait, no. It wasn't blood. Sir, I don't mean to sound rude, but you're perfectly fine. Gran Torino opens one eye and then sits up abruptly. Oh, sorry. Slipped my snacks on the floor. Dang. Deku lifts his hand and the ketchup gathers into a ball he then throws aside. Even little things like that aren't a problem, huh? As Deku helps him stand, he says, sorry I'm late. Who are you? Mydoria would show a look of confusion before smiling. Are you testing me? Gran Torino loses composure for a second as Deku says that he can see his brain activity and overall body condition. You may be old, sir, but you're still in your prime. The old man's eyes would widen. Flattery will get you nowhere. In a flash, he moves past Deku, crashing into the ceiling before leaping back down. As he approaches, however, time slows for Deku, who looks up with a nervous bead of sweat falling down his head. What, is he crazy? He thinks. Now, a few days earlier, after the festival, Deku's name was spread throughout Japan and the world. He went viral, so to say. When he returned home, he and his mom celebrated non-stop. Then they had a day off, which he of course used to train because he didn't really exert himself during the festival, like at all. But he discovers yet another truth of his quirk. When he did, it kind of changed the whole perception of, well, everything. His power at its base works off of emotion, literally. When filled with anger and hate, the need to beat someone, his technique gets more accurate and deadly. When he wants to save someone, his ability to heal skyrockets, allowing him to put bones back together, which I know JJK characters casually do that stuff, but regrowing an entire arm or reattaching an arm, that is a crazy feat, and we gotta acknowledge it more often. Now, since it changes his whole mindset even more and, of course, influence you psychologically, for him it's a bit different, but it's a natural progression. So as a result of understanding his quirk, he will change with it and continue to change accordingly. Alright, moving on from the festival, says Aizawa. Damn, we don't even get a moment, huh? Asked Kirishima. Never. Hero work is a marathon. All this was pre-planned. Getting your faces out there, it allows for heroes to see if you're suitable to be taught by them, or just how many interests you caught in general. Some people like to fish out for apprentices during moments like these. Speaking of that, people have been recognizing me and stuff. Yeah, we're famous, boys. It's unreal. I gave someone an autograph, dude. Silence. As his eyes would gleam red, they all straighten up. Now, these are the nominations for your class. Don't take it personal. With the press of a button, he projects the amount of heroes who want who. Todoroki and Katsuki have crazy numbers into the 1000s. Todoroki, you got the highest nomination, says Deku. Oh, do I? It's all probably because Endeavor's my dad. Too damn bad, says Mineta. Some of us don't have anything to be grateful for. Sorry. Ochako says, this is the most I've heard you talk, like ever. And you're not talking at all. She looks to Katsuki, who growls, shut up. See, that's more like you. Everyone who is up there and those who aren't are told that they'll get to work with someone anyway, but they begin to notice, and Deku would selfishly point out, Sensei, not to be rude, but where am I? Unless I got no nominations, which is okay. The fact that he thinks that, this is normal, that he wouldn't get anything, is so appalling that Mineta smacks him on the head and Katsuki screams at him to die. Okay, sorry. Jeez. Why? Why isn't he up there, Sensei? Yeah, what happened? There's no way they resisted those baby blues. Aizawa would put down his remote. Full disclosure, Mydoria, the amount of nominations you have is unprecedented. It would look jarring on the board, so here. He walks over and hands him a piece of paper, and the moment he walks off, everyone gathers and their eyes nearly pop out of their sockets. Oh wow, that's crazy, says Deku. That's insane. So many zeros. Yeah, the amount of nominations he had? 104,567,000. Yeah, that's insane. This isn't just because, of hero work, but because he worked well with advertisers. He had the personality people spend years trying to create just to have a platform. And also, he has the six eyes. Like, you got it, bro. From here, the only thing that changes is Deku's hero name, which will be revealed much later. I don't really bring it up until the third part because people don't really be asking. No one really just asks your hero name out of the blue, but we'll learn it. Now, return to present time. Gran Torino's foot was smashed into the infinity and he would drop. So it's true. Infinity, huh? Yeah, did you have to? Yes, I did. How did you know? The six eyes. I named them that because they have 6 high-tuned functions. I perceive energy, the body, quirks, motion on a cellular level. The hell did you just say? I also perceive time differently, and the energy spent into each attack I throw is, well, infinitesimally 0. I never really run out of cursed energy. What? That ain't normal. Sorry? Gran Torino would catch himself and clear his throat. What did I look like when I was attacking you? Like a slow motion clip in a movie. It's actually kind of not that you're weak or anything, sir. Oh, calm down. Do I look like I'm still the same? Come on, sit down. Tell me what you know about One for All. Yes, sir. As they talk, Gran Torino finds that he really hasn't been told much at all. If anything, everything he learned was from self-deduction, and he was right. You're the 9th. Before you or even All Might, this quirk was passed and passed through battles endlessly. That was when quirks were still new, as was heroism. You know why I asked you that? He shakes his head. Because this is when you start to feel the pressure, kid. All Might's embers are dying out, and it's your turn next. I won't let you down. Yeah, I know you won't. Come on, we got work to do. We go into a montage scene where instead of learning how to use One for All, Deku learns how to actually fight. The thing is, Mydoria has the same output as All Might already, except that it's not outputted physically, no. His red and blue attacks can do far more damage than All Might smashes, so he just puts the power of One for All into his technique. He doesn't need to be physically robust, but what he does need to do is learn how to fight. Wait, hold the hell up. How did you do that? At a random abandoned construction site, he asked this question while they're training, and Deku says, I just did what you described. Did I do it wrong? The other would facepalm. Pray tell, did it ever occur to you that maybe because you see things so differently, learning new skills will come to you naturally? Mydoria takes a moment before he has an Eureka moment. But that's insane. It's your quirk, genius. Midoriya's phone then goes off just then, and he takes it out. Sorry. He checks his messages. It's from Muraka. And it says, did Ida answer you back? He replies back now, and she says that she's starting to worry. Yeah, me too. From here on, he is given some self-study time. Gran Torino gives him old videos of previous heroes. What he didn't know is that some of them were actually previous users before they got One for All at all. So Deku learned and practiced their moves while not knowing they were his predecessors, and he was criticized and just, kept learning and getting better and better. And because the 6 eyes exist, well, he learns everything about them and how they move. He's a freaking genius. He got it. And it takes about 4 days of just constant training until they get on a train to Hosu for some actual work. On their way to the tracks, however, they got a lot of looks. Are we doing something wrong? Strap up, kid. Don't you know how broadcasts work? They recognize you. Say hello to your fans. I don't wanna. Upon boarding the train, Gran Torino takes a long nap. That's because the sun had begun to set when they were nearing the city. They hadn't arrived yet, but the entire time the train had been going, Mydoria has been trying to contact their class president, but to no avail. Ida, pick. He would then suddenly stand, catching everyone's attention as he ran to a car door and forcefully pries it open, forcing sparks to fly. What is he doing? Hey, get him. Isn't he your sidekick? However, just then, a hero flies at him, about to crash into the train. Luckily, with just enough of his blue, he cushions and lets him crash beside him when an enormous chimera-like creature smashes into the infinity between he and Mydoria. It screeches, throwing everyone into a panic. Everyone calm down, it's okay. A sphere of red forms and fires so fast no one detected or saw it. The creature's head is blown clean off as Mydoria looks to Gran Torino. I saw it coming. Sorry, The elder is quick on the uptake, however, and says not to worry about it. You got a natural hero's instinct. When the hero wakes up, tell him about what happened, and when the train stops, meet me at Hosu, alright? He leaps out, firing into the air, using his jet blasters that are from his feet. Honestly, Gran Torino's quirk is super cool. I feel like it's never exploded enough. It's a cool-ass power. Anyway, Deku would say he got it, and then he quickly turned his attention to the hero. As he held his hand over him, a bubble of energy covers him, and he makes his injuries non-existent in an instant, like it never existed. I'm saying existed a lot, sorry. Is anyone else hurt? Let me know, I can heal. Luckily, no one was hurt, and eventually the train would halt after the obvious emergency is recognized. The conductor runs to the impacted car and finds Deku leaping out. Hey, wait! He runs to the door and sees the boy levitating. Reinforcements are on their way, sir. Hang on tight. With a kick, he's catapulted into the air. One for all, 30%. Upon gaining enough altitude, the sound barrier breaks as he travels across the air, using red to create platforms to kick off of. The closer he nears the city, his 6 eyes pick up the volatile life form. I almost sounded like country. Life forms, alike to the same one he had just beat. Multiple Nomus are here. This is just like back then. Memories of the USJ incident run through his mind, and he promised himself, no, not this time. As he begins to descend, he expels a wave of cursed energy. It creeps into the minds of the Nomus. They feel that they must find the source. After all, what they're feeling is pure malice. This catches the heroes as well. This includes Gran Torino. That little... Don't! Hordes of winged Nomu fly towards him out for blood. The rest who didn't have wings shout and leap for him in a craze. Even a few which were hiding come out of the woodworks. The heroes are hopeless to stop him. They can't save the kid, and they can't even explain why they want to kill this kid so bad, but the boy disappears. He reappears in the center of the gathering creatures, and he comes face to face with the leaping Nomu, who tries to swing at him, but it slows to a halt before its claws near him. As it struggles to get free, its reaching arm is bent back as it screams, only to have its head blown off by a punch. Its body then flops to the floor. Deku would reappear on the concrete, and one of the hulking Nomus tries to stomp him, but he charges ahead, striking through its stomach and then turning it to dust with a red. He then opens up his palm wide, creating a sphere of blue. As it gathers before him all the remaining Nomus, they smash into one another, and as much as they try to resist, the force grows and grows, crushing their bones and rendering them immobile before they're crushed. Their carcasses fall to the floor, and with urgency, Deku runs past the completely shocked heroes. Like, he manhandled these creatures. And 3 of them against 1 of them just did not work. Who is he? They don't know how he exists. But Deku, meanwhile, reaches Gran Torino. Sorry, you idiot! He's kicked in the face. Who told you to aggro them like that, huh? Sorry. Ow. A shadow looms over them just then, from behind, and Deku would suddenly snap, killing another Nomu as it drops behind them. The boy looks to the civilians, the fiery hellscape, and says, never again. Rising into his hand and into the air, he gathers a beautiful blue wave of energy, and he would mold it with his hand. As it begins to revolve, the flames are draped over the streets and begin to gather to it. The fire hero Endeavor arrives on the scene, and at that very moment, he witnesses the fires being put out. With the threat cleared, the heroes can evacuate civilians with no worries. Thanks, kid. Strong quirk you got there. I knew I recognized him. He's the one from the festival. Oh, you mean the kid who has infinity and stuff? Why is he out here? I was most certainly wrong about you. This voice is familiar. Deku would turn and see Endeavor. His appearance causes a stir. He is, after all, the number 2 hero. Yes, very, says Izuku. Endeavor would look and observe the dead Nomus. You have a penchant for pain, don't you? No, He then looks to Gran Torino, who looks at him like he agrees, like he's low-key just into destroying things. Come on, it was just the most elaborate. It was the most. He paces past them as if looking for something. No. What is it? Asks Endeavor. My friend, he's about to do something very stupid. I need to. What, rush in? Get involved in some teenage hijinks? This ain't a game, kid. I know that. That's why. Please. Oh, for the love of. Get one scratch. Oh, who am I kidding? I can only hate you because you let me. Just go. Deku brightens up, saying, thank you. He wastes no time running off as he unmasks and he takes off a blindfold so he can now see more clearly. He enters deeper and deeper into the city and he feels the presence of Ida. He cuts into an alleyway and time slows. His face fills with anger. Get away from him! He uppercuts the air, aiming to throw a red, and yet Stain is struck in the chest and thrown into the air with no trail of red, as if he had struck him somehow from afar, like he cut through space. How did I? Not the time. He runs to Ida and also sees Native, who he heals. Mydoria, what are you doing here? You shouldn't be here. And neither should you. I know what happened, but this isn't the way. What did he do to you? Stain would land with no issue from the blow, and he would lock his, bones back into place and clean his blade with his, his tongue, which I think is very unsanitary, wearing a deranged ass look. Sent for a friend, eh? Coward to the end. Shut up, shouts Ida. You said enough. As he took his next step, Stain froze on the spot. By using blue, Deku can create points in the air around a target to pull at it from many areas. He has created multiple blues surrounding him, which he cannot notice because, well, they're too small. So if he pulls at each and every one of them with the same intensity targeting him, then he freezes him on the spot. I'm busy, said Deku. Stain was enraged, shouting, You think this can... Your quirk lets you paralyze your targets by drinking their blood. Even if you could touch me, which you can't, I don't need to lift a finger to beat you. With just a glare, he sends him crashing into the wall at the end of the alley. Ida thinks, even now, I'm reminded I'm not strong enough. He asks Deku why it's fair that his brother's career is ruined and that bastard gets to keep doing as he pleases. All because of my code. That code might as well have killed my brother. That's not true. How did you get back up? He stands and sees Stain limping over. He was so shocked that he just didn't know what else to say. Blood dripping from his mouth, just completely destroyed. He still wants to fight. There is no way that hit would take me out. It has no power behind it. He uses Bloodlust, now being more alive than ever somehow. He's alike to a rabid animal than human, but Deku wasn't deterred and moves in, grabbing him by the face. Shut the fuck up. What you're doing isn't noble. It's murder. From across the street, Todoroki sees an explosion of dust rise into the air. He runs to where he saw it and eventually finds the three. Mydoria, sorry, That's the hero killer. It is, isn't it? With Stain having lost consciousness, his quirk loses influence, so before Mydoria could answer, Ida sped to him and holds his hand to Stain's throat, ripping him away from Midoriya's grasp. No, Ida! Todoroki runs in as he and Deku grab a hold of him. He's scum, let me go, let me finish it. No, what would it all be for, asked Todoroki. Trust me, I get it, I do, but you won't feel better. It won't make you feel better. We now have a little flashback. After he and Midoriya's fight, they walked the tunnels together. Sorry about your clothes. I guess you'd never have that problem because of Infinity. Oh god, I feel so guilty now. Shoto! As he marches over, Deku says that he'll go on ahead. You guys have things to discuss. Yeah, we do. Midoriya would exit the scene with Endeavor being so full of pride he couldn't help but grin ear to ear. Are you finally ready to be serious about this? To get stronger? You've only stepped onto the first stage. Your potential. Stop. Just stop. I did avoid using my fire at first. It does come from you, but I'm not you. Growing up, the hero I looked up to was All Might, not you. I can accept these flames, but I won't do what you want. You know what's funny? In those last moments of my match, I forgot about you. We return to present time as Todoroki takes what he learned from that fight and from facing his father, saying, "It's like poison. You need to let it go." Think of what Tensei would say, what Ochako would say. Is it really worth risking your life? God, why? Why? His spine, it'll never... It's all because of him. What did he do? What did my brother do to deserve this? He loses strength in his arms as he begins to bawl his eyes out. Deku and Todoroki comfort him best as they can. "It's okay, Ida. Just breathe. We got him," says Todoroki. "You hear that? And he's gonna get what he deserves because you stepped up." "No, it doesn't just end like this," thinks Deku. On a lone, starry night, through the window of Tensei's hospital room, a shadow-like figure steps through. His steps aren't even heard, his presence almost non-existent. He approaches the hero's bedside and pulls down their blindfold. "Alright, let's do this." Through his eyes, he enters the body of Tensei, where he finds the bone structure mangled. Time slows. His positive energy seeps through the skin, the bones, the blood. Yes, the blood. Use it as a conduit. Limitless control space, so if I apply my technique to my positive energy, I can draw all my power to that spot. Slowly, Tensei's back straightens and faces itself back together, even his nerves and tendons until... By the way, only 2.4 seconds have elapsed, and Tensei Ida is now fully healed. I did it. I did it. Thank God that worked. Freeze! He turns to the door with guns and flashlights now being pointed at him, and he raises his hand, but the officers would recognize him. "Ain't you that kid from the festival? What are you doing?" Hi. I was just helping out a friend." Deku had returned 3 days ago to Mutsutafu, and he thought it was dangerous, but his instinct as a hero took over, even if he got caught. He wanted to help. The next day after this incident, he is brought back home after everything was assessed, and Inko hears a knock on her door. She runs to it, and she sees her boy and Tsukaochi, who tips his hat. "Miss Mydoria, can we talk?" "Izuku, what did you do?" He averts his gaze, not knowing how to explain. Moments later, she had been filled in on everything that went down, and everything is explained. The Ida family owes a great debt to Mydoria Izuku. Though what he did was kind, he did it in a dangerous fashion, but still. Sorry. Why didn't you just tell someone?" asked Inko. "Would you have believed me if I said I could heal a fully fractured spine?" "You did what? It was that bad?" "Oh yes. That's why he was detained for so long. I'm sorry we didn't inform you sooner, but you should be proud." Inko can't say that she's not mad, but she hugs him tight. "What am I gonna do with you?" "I won't do it again." Yes, you will. You idolize All Might your entire life. Ever since you got your quirk, you've been doing your best. You're gonna do it again, alright? Just be careful. Thanks. You just got back home for a second, and the next thing I hear is you sneak into a hospital, shouts All Might. I know. He enters his room, locking it shut as he sits down. But I found out something, alright? This is gonna be very, very useful. What could possibly be worth going through such trouble? I found it. I found a way to heal your injury. What? Yeah, I healed Ingenium's spine. Your liver is easy in comparison. Anyway, meet me at Dagoba in an hour. We need to fix you, okay? Bye. Yes, wait, but... He cut the call. He quickly gets out of his seat and runs out of the teacher's office, and Aizawa wondered why he was in such a hurry. Meanwhile, Deku would leap down from the steps leading to his room, and he comes to a float as he shouts, Mom, I have to go train. I'll be back. He runs for the door, and as he's about to close it behind, Inko walks down the steps as well. Wear sunscreen. It's okay, I have infinity. Right, I keep forgetting that. He closes the door behind and begins to run like the wind. All this time when he discovered he could heal, it was the first thing on his mind. Healing All Might, bringing back the symbol of hope. I can save him. I can do it. I can do it. Upon arriving at Dagoba, he would see Toshinori waiting at the shore. Yo, Mydoria, you're here. In a flash, he teleports before him, and Toshinori hugs the boy. Oh boy, am I glad you're safe. Never do that again. Noted. As they break the hug, Deku says they need to heal him right away. But why are you in such a hurry? Well, it hurts, doesn't it? I don't even know how you're standing right now. Come on. He lifts up his shirt and tells him to hold the shirt up and stay still. Holding his hand over the wound, he fills it with positive energy, and instantaneously it is regenerated so quickly that All Might coughs up more blood. As he falls forward, Deku catches him as he would erupt with steam. The steam then clears to show a fully rebuilt All Might, muscles and all, no time limit. The insulating shock from the rebuilt organ messed him up. It might have caused a slight rejection, but you're healed. Really, really. All Might stands up, almost staggering back, but catching himself. He touches the wound. Incredible. I mean, just... Thank you, Mydoria. You saved me. You're welcome. Really. It was nothing at all. From where their journey began as mentor and mentee to now, things have clearly changed, and a new chapter starts with the rejuvenation of All Might. This changes things. Now One For All is in a constant state of flux because both users are well and willing to share the power. They can both use it. However, it is divided, which doesn't really matter because since it's been passed on, One For All got stronger. So the 50% that All Might uses doesn't match his prime, but it matches the power he held until he lost it against All For One in that battle. But this time, no limits. So technically, this is his new prime form, just a little bit down-powered. The day everyone was returning to school, Mydoria meets Ida at the gate, as if he had been waiting for him. Ida, good morning, Mydoria. They begin to walk in together. I went and saw Tensei again. He can run, but it'll take a while before he gets back to hero work. I'm glad, he was one of my favorites. Yeah, and apparently someone snuck in the middle of the night. Thank you, Mydoria. Anytime. As he raises his fist, Ida would bump it, and together they walk in, make it to class, where they were one of the few present, aside from Momo and Todoroki. Ida, you okay? Asks Todoroki. He walks up to him, and the class president says that he's quite alright. I heard of the news. You guys really met the hero killer, huh? Yes, he was a complete psychopath, says Deku. Luckily, Endeavor saved us in time. Todoroki practically lights ablaze hearing these words. Okay, no, not in the classroom, says Ida. Not in the classroom. Sorry, you said the no word. How are you gonna avoid that? Asked Momo. He's the number 2 hero with extreme effort. Deku, however, just begins to laugh, and Ida says he should be serious, but he just can't help it. Like, damn, bruh, you really gonna go that far? And before they knew it, they were all laughing. I would be too, like, bruh, lighting a blaze, just, that's insane. I wrote that anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm literally laughing at my own joke. That's sad. Alright, school continues on. For their trial today, All Might decided to make them race one another. So they changed and went to Ground Gamma, a field built with intertwined pipes and metal. At the finish line, All Might stood waving to the first batch of racers. Whoever reaches me first will be the winner. Now the first racers will be Mydoria, Sero, Mina, Ida, and Ojiro. If I forgot anyone, remind me, but same people as the original. Watching on a giant screen, the others who were elsewhere, but still in the zone, start to, make their bets. I am really losing it today. Obviously, Midoriya is winning, says Jiro, so let's just bet on the others. Katsuki scoffs the notion, but he cannot deny it. That nerd probably replicates teleportation by pulling himself at high speeds or something. He's guaranteed to win. He's not, he's close. Not exactly, but he's close. The way that works is that, technically Gojo erases the space between he and whatever destination he's trying to get to, but that's all hypothetical, theoretical bullshit. Now, while everyone places their bets, our competitors are readying for All Might's signal. Ready and go. While everyone runs off, Mydoria would calmly pull down his blindfold. Displace. In a flash, the ground beneath him flattens as he reappears before All Might. Displacement. Mydoria learned that his positive energy, when applied to his techniques, is what creates the opposite effect, like his Ao becoming an Aka. And with his 6 eyes, he understood this and applied it very fast. As such, he applied his ability to stop, aka infinity, and as such, the application of positive energy allowed him to effectively erase the space between he and whatever he's trying to reach for instantaneous movement. That's how he teleports, and technically that's how Gojo should teleport in JJK. I'm pretty sure that's how he teleports. It just makes sense. This technique can be applied to almost anything, however, in this event, because he has one for all, which, makes quirks stronger. So it's actually boosting his limitless technique. Now, as he looks to All Might, the mentor would probably say, do your eyes not hurt? I learned to manage it a bit. Thanks for asking. Not even fair, said Mina. He can teleport. Don't hate the player, hate the game, says Sarah. You're one to talk. This environment is basically made for you, says Mina. Exactly. Don't hate the player. Ha. Sarah ends up taking second place, and after everyone else goes, they return to their normal schedule, all except for Mydoria, who was told by All Might that they need to talk about the origin of One for All. Now, after being told of it, he realizes, oh, this is bad news. What is it, young Mydoria? Okay, well, the only reason I've been having this feeling is because of the souls. All those souls compounded into the quirk. If you did give this quirk to someone else like you planned, I don't think they would have lasted long. What do you mean? Imagine a cup full of water which is ever growing but never tips over the edge. Eventually, another cup of water starts to drip into it, and the glass begins to shatter. It's impossible to hold a quirk onto another and live long enough unless you're quirkless. No. Well, you must give it back right now. No, it's okay. My 6 eyes are helping me. How does that work? Remember when you told me that I should be careful about going all out, and then I told you that I can't ever run out of energy? Well, ever since I started using One for All, my brain and body has been filtering the power for me and optimizing its use. In short, I'll be fine. Oh, that's good. But what is it? Ever since he had met this boy, All Might saw infinite possibilities and his potential. It was so incredible that it made him wonder for a moment if maybe, like it was just a split moment, but maybe if it was time for him to just settle down and just trust him with everything. But no, he became almost too reliant on Deku's strength, and now he's doing so again. It was never supposed to be like this. I chose to take the power. Yes, I'm definitely too inexperienced, but becoming your successor, it's been an honor. Ditto. Have you told Gran Torino of your discovery? Not yet, since, I got in trouble with the police and all that. I was hoping you would do that. Well, okay, you will, thanks. In a flash, he runs out and would run along the halls, and he would see Uraraka, who follows him into his dash. Why are you running? Good exercise? You're lying. Yep. How's your day been? Great. I'm getting good running. Ha. All right. Now that after that little cute scene, the internships are done. The matter of the final term comes into play. Everyone has a few weeks to study, but some weren't wise enough to do so. Oh, I didn't study. Damn it. Mina seconds Kaminari, remarking that she hadn't done so either, and now they both only had a week left. So you guys chose to not pay attention during class, says Todoroki. Hey, words hurt, alright? Still, you guys don't have that much time left. If you guys need help, why don't you ask Momo, suggests Mydoria. Momo is surprised by the notion, but she's not completely opposed, and says that she would love to. The two feel they had found a saving grace, and this goes for anyone else who thought they would fail. If they wanted to, study a bit more, they could attend, and they did promise to attend her study session. A while later, while they were on their lunch break, or just going to lunch, this is not a job, this is a school, They're at lunch. 1A sits together for the first time in a while, though still within their own, familiar little groups. And Mina asks, "You guys know what the practical test is gonna be?" "Maybe those robots again," says Mineta. "They love using them." Just then, an elbow nears Midoriya's head from behind, only to be stopped by his infinity. He looks behind and sees Monoma. "Watch it," says Deku. "Oh, my bad. I slipped." "No, you didn't. You didn't slip at all." This is the first time that, since his tenure as the top student, that Midoriya has outwardly shown such disposition to someone. He's not really the type to usually stand up for himself, but for a while he didn't really have to because his strength did that for him. But he promised to change, and it started with this, calling people out when they're trying to mess with you. Okay, my bad. Didn't think the 1A class had so much pride. Must be because of that light show you put on display. Before he escalates, a chop from Kendo would knock him out cold. If you don't remember, Kendo is a girl with the big hands, the president of Class 1B. And she apologizes on his behalf to everybody. He's a bit particular. "Sorry, Midoriya." This is the first time she had ever spoken to him, and Kendo felt what she could only describe as terrifying. He had a bizarre presence about him. He's the strongest guy in the entire school. Yes, that includes even people like Mirio. People don't really think you can beat someone you can't touch. So yeah, he's the strongest kid in the entire freaking school. But, of course, Monoma had to be Monoma. You just had to go and piss him off, the powerhouse of the school. "You stupid idiot," she thinks. "Oh, it's okay." Wait, you're not mad?" she said. "Yeah, it's alright, just tell him to calm down next time. He could have really hurt somebody." She expected him to be a little bit more harsh, says Kirishima. "That's what you thought he was gonna be like, right? He's a real softie, isn't he?" Wait, I don't know how I feel about that statement, says Deku. Kendo would chuckle, saying that she hopes that they have a good lunch before then leaving, and just, happy they didn't get into a scuffle, because she thought that Deku was like that. He is like that, but he's not a jerk. Now, before she leaves, though, she gives them a little tidbit. Apparently, their practical exams will consist of facing those machines again. And when the days of set exams arrive, they do a written exam. They all do pretty well, most of them. Then they gathered outside wearing their costumes as they faced their teachers. It seems Kendo was telling the truth after all. Maybe they were going to drive them off and go to quadrants and fight robots that are even stronger now. Oh, this is going to be a sitch. Easy pass. We won't even break a sweat, guys. Midoriya's intuition says otherwise, though, as his mind would trap itself for a while. He mumbles, wondering why he feels so bizarre. In the span of 10 seconds in the real world, a minute had passed in his mind, and he says, "Oh no." "What is it, Midoriya?" "Be quiet," says Eraserhead. "Now, the end term test has been changed a bit from the original." Wait, changed? Eraser's scarf would then begin to, ruffle and move kind of weird, and from it, Nezu would show himself. "Hello, children." "How long were you in there for?" asked Kirishima. "More importantly, how did you breathe?" As he gets help to get down from Eraserhead, he doesn't even acknowledge the question, only saying that this test will be a bit harder. The notion might seem bizarre, but you'd be wondering yourself why we would do so. Why would we change the test? Well, it's because of the villains. They become more serious, and it is indeed because of the villains. Due to the many incidents, the breaking of UA barrier, the USJ incident, the hero killer, they need to get them all ready for potential battle that could happen at any time. "God knows what we might face from now on," says Nezu. "So we need to push you to your limits, and as such," Eraserhead, "Thank you. You'll be facing us." "What? For real? We're facing pros?" "Bring it on," shouts Katsuki. After all this time, Katsuki has been itching for a win, just one. Now, as abrasive as he is, his attitude would rub off on everyone. If they can't escape this, they might as well embrace it. Now they're kind of getting excited, screw it, we're going to fight pros. If we lose, we lose, but we're going to take something from it. "Momo, Shoto, you're with me," says Eraserhead. "See you, Tokoyami, you're facing Ectoplasm." "Oh, right, Mydoria and Katsuki. You'll be facing..." "Never mind, he'll tell you." From behind, a shadow looms over the kids as they turn to see All Might approach. "You'll be facing me, young embryos. Show me what you got." "Those two? Against All Might? Oh, this is not gonna end well. Midoriya faces All Might, however, and doesn't even flinch as he's thinking of the many ways to incapacitate his mentor. The old him would have never thought of beating anyone, but his mind tells him that there are so many that it would be insane to not consider. There are so many ways to consider how to destroy All Might right now. It's actually insane. He's amazed at himself. Challenge accepted, he said. Katsuki looks at him while he himself was shivering from uncertainty. This nerd, he's not the same anymore. The tests will go as such. Everyone is driven by their teacher to a place to fight, and every teacher will wear weights to restrain their movement, all except All Might. Now, why is he not wearing weights? The one person who should have them, the most of them, will have a little flashback. At the teacher's meeting, All Might brings this up, that he will not be wearing weights. That is a terrible idea, says 13. What if you hurt them? Yes, the thought has crossed my mind, but trust me, those two, they'll be fine. Midoriya and Katsuki, well, most of all Mydoria, if I try to restrain myself against him, I will lose. They're shocked that he said that so casually. Okay, I know the kid's packing a punch, like a serious punch, says President Mike, but you, come on. Yes, him. He healed me, and even at my full strength currently, I couldn't beat him. Midoriya's 6 eyes allow for his quirk to work continuously, forever. He cannot exhaust himself, and he has never once tried at all against any of his classmates. You're telling me he held back against Todoroki? Asked Midnight. Not even 50%, trust me. This isn't just a chance for us to test him, but for him to let loose. It'll do him some good, and perhaps even mend the relationship with he and Katsuki. Okay, see, that's a stretch, says President Mike. Fair enough. The relationship is pretty messy. Present time. The two would walk through the now deserted town. Katsuki checks his grenades and equipment while Midoriya takes off his blindfold and puts it in his pocket. Time to try something new. Katsuki obviously hears this. Further, further, further. He keeps getting away. Keeps pulling away from me. Now we're gonna have a little flashback. Surrounded by all his peers at the mere age of 5, Katsuki showed off his quirk. And like any other child, he's obviously praised for it. It's a good thing. My god, you're gonna be a great hero someday. What a flashy quirk. It's too bad Mydoria hasn't gotten his. Oh, maybe, who knows. He'll get his next week. Katsuki looks at Mydoria, who doesn't really know what to say. He's fidgeting and looking all nervous. And he only wishes that, they were right and that Mydoria would get a quirk. He kind of hoped for it. And yet at the same time, this smile began to creep on Katsuki's face. Ha, what a loser. That very same loser he discarded and bullied became the insurmountable wall, not only to him, but everyone else. And everyone uses him as a measuring stick now. The status quo has been changed for a while now, but Katsuki can never say it out loud. Saying that would mean breaking his whole world, and even now he couldn't accept it. Don't get in my way. Don't get in mine either, says Mydoria. Like I said, it's time for something new. By this point, Limitless had become one with Mydoria already, changing not only his mentality but personality. People just hadn't picked up on it because he was still nice in general, but when it came to his capabilities and being doubted, he was guarded and confident. He knew what he could do, and he could execute it like a machine. So he was really confident in battle and stuff. He will be nice, but then don't try to mess with him. He can do basically anything. Suddenly, a gust of wind sways them forward and shakes the buildings as Katsuki covers his eyes. Mydoria advanced meanwhile and erupted with energy as he readies into a fighting stance. Come on! The moment he said this, All Might's fist would reach him and the boy deflects it aside, carving the floor and breaking a building to rubble before he kneed his arm in. Bakugo, shut up! He moves in, detonating an explosion in All Might's face, knocking him back. Didn't do much, however, as he moved in, nearly knocking Katsuki's head off, and yet he was stopped. He's learned to extend the barrier, thinks All Might. In a flash, he found himself teleported against his will as he was thrown to the sky, being forcefully thrown into a massive red up above. As he puts up his guard, he collides with it, causing a massive explosion. Run! As he begins to do so, Deku looks back and sees Katsuki landing and waiting. What are you doing? Shut up. I don't need you, nerd. I'll win on my own. I'll win. I can do it. From an explosion from above, All Might would fall, his clothes torn, but he himself uninjured. Very unhero-like tactic. The moment he lands, Katsuki pulls the pin on his grenade. Die. He unleashes a blast with all his gathered sweat, only for it to be dispersed in one punch. All Might moves in, striking him on the stomach and launching Katsuki flying. It hurts. Everything hurts. As he begins to lose consciousness, he saw Deku step in and fight All Might and actually affect him. It was at this moment that he had to accept that he was never going to beat Izuku. Not anymore. With this poignant realization, he had crashed only to be swept away immediately by Deku, who then moves in, avoiding a concussive shockwave before flicking and firing his own. All Might responds with a Texas Smash as the attacks would cancel one another out, but still of course cause a lot of damage. Deku moved forward, leaving behind an after image as he approached in a zigzag pattern, and he left more and more after images. All Might's eyes would toggle and move incessantly to keep up when in a flash, Deku made it past him and held back his hand towards him. Aka! When he turned, All Might was blinded by red as the few blocks behind him were razed to the ground, sweeping him up in this massive attack. Deku took the chance to then teleport to the entrance. Mydoria and Katsuki have passed, says Recovery Girl. She's the one monitoring this, if you guys forgot. Hearing this, everyone else who heard, they're in their own, sessions, the little tests, they're surprised. And not because, of what All Might can do. He can do a lot. But you can't really stop someone who cannot be touched. Like, what are they supposed to be surprised about? All they're surprised about is that he and Katsuki didn't fight. Let me go, damn it! As he pushed himself off Deku, Mydoria would grab his blindfold and put it back on. What is your problem? You're everywhere. Anything I do, everything I try to do, it goes back to you. You were only supposed to be a pebble, some loser in my path. Who the hell are you? I'm Izuku Midori. No, the hell you're not. Cause if you are, then who the hell am I? Who is it all for? What am I for? Mydoria didn't know. He didn't know this bothered him this much because as much as he has grown to hate him, he also respects Bakugo, always. As screwed up as it was, he did so because Katsuki is unrelenting. That's just how he is. But what he's facing right now is not his problem. To me, nothing's changed. Things just return to the normal natural order. What's funny is, even if I got my quirk early on, it wouldn't have changed anything. You'd still be the same, but I don't blame you for it. I blame the society that raised us, but I moved on. You should too. He walks past with nothing else to say. Shit! Katsuki himself would eventually head for the bus, and he sits in the back. Midoriya sits in the front. All Might arrives a few moments later, as he had done so purposely to let the tension die down. It has not. He felt he made things worse. Regardless, he drives back, and eventually everyone else finishes. Some pass, and some don't. Hours later, they were gathered to their class, most of them battered and tired, especially Kirishima and Sato, who had faced the wrath of Nezu. And seriously, that dude is, how are you a principal and you're over here endangering your students' lives? You get a grip, dog. Now, they were quietly waiting in anticipation. Eventually, Aizawa would walk in, and they straighten up. You're all too far high-strung. I'm sure you're all waiting on the results. You all passed, it was a ruse. He says so with a smile so conniving, they all erupt with anger. Seriously? Don't you ever get tired of that? That's not even funny, Sensei. Come on. Would you rather all be failed, then? No, Sensei. Good. Of course, there will be penalties for those of you who didn't pass entirely. However, you're now all clear to attend the summer training camp. Wait, hold up. Training camp? Awesome! That actually sounds fun. So you do have a soul, Sensei. Watch it, Mineta. Sorry. That actually sounds fun. So you do have a soul, Sensei. Watch it, Mineta. Sorry. But yes, they're all gonna still attend the training camp. So they need to get some clothes, shopping, stuff. which is done far easier since Shigaraki didn't appear. However, that's because he had just gotten broken out of custody just a few weeks ago. And also, what the hell is he gonna do to Deku? Like, my nigga, you're out of your depth. He has no chance to try to threaten him. He tries to threaten him, he's back in prison. Now, in that time, he instead focused on gathering a team of like-minded, okay, not like-minded, but close-knit for sure, in their desire to destroy everything because the society did them dirty, like most people in MHA. The day of departure, Class 1A and B would exit the school with suitcases and bags in their hands. They head for the buses and would get to interact a bit. Hey, you're Ochako, right? Yeah, nice to meet you. Is Mydoria with someone? Slowly, Uraka's face turns beet red. What? No, what? Of course not. As she rambles on, Mina comes in and pulls her away. Alright, sweetie, just breathe. Sorry, she does that. Clearly, a few from 1B favor Mydoria, so to speak, but he's oblivious, of course. He don't care about that. He also doesn't know it's happening. They then get on board, and yeah. In the back, Mydoria would be sleeping. It's hard to tell if he actually is, though, because he has the blindfold on, so Kaminari goes to poke him, but can't. Yep, he's asleep, and he still has it up. How? Honestly, I say we take his advice. It's gonna be a long ride from the looks of it. Some of them would nap, and some of them play games, some of them talk, etc. But Mydoria isn't actually sleeping. Well, he is. He's resting his body, but he is peering into his innate domain, or more specifically, he's analyzing it. My bad. He then finds himself in an endless void. This is trippy? No, not the right word. Overwhelming. I can't change the domain, but I can change the effects. I can set rules. Oh, I'm finding out a lot in here. He spent what felt like days in there, and when he was awoken by a voice, no time had passed at all. Come on, they're giving us a break, says Ochako. Oh, okay, sorry. Damn, bruh. Yeah, what's up with my raspy ass voice? He gets up and walks out with everyone taking a little break. He takes off his blindfold. You know, they finally stretch their legs, swing their legs about. However, he, like everyone else, noticed that the 1B bus hadn't stopped. Sensei, why aren't they stopping? Actually, they also noticed there was a parked car out here, and you never guessed that from it, the Wow Wow Pussycats would come out. Most specifically, Mandalay and Pixie Bob. They pose, you know, in their little thing, you know, doing whatever the hell it is they do all the time. But from the car, one last person would exit, a child. Whoa, what are they doing here? Are they going to be teaching us? Who's the kid? No, seriously, is no one going to point that out? Asked Mineta. Eraserhead then says they indeed will be working with these guys. Yeah, so the training camp is about a few hours that way? Mandalay, as she says this, would walk to the fence at the edge of the cliff and point towards the mountains. Then why are we here? Yeah, I mean, it's kind of getting weird, says Sato. Guys, I'm getting a bad feeling. It's not a bad feeling, says Mydoria. Slowly, everyone begins to back up before starting to run for the bus, just as Pixie would erupt the ground, and from underneath them, they are, you know, thrown by the sand. And as they're thrown overboard, Aizawa says, see you at the camp. You crazy bastards, shouts Katsuki. As they begin to fall, Mydoria would dive down even faster, crashing down first before holding his hand up. As the others fall, they would suddenly stop and land safely. Thanks, Mydoria. Are they insane? From above, Pixie is surprised to see Midoriya's quirk in action. She didn't know he could just stop that many people. Like, when it comes to quirks that are emitter type, it takes a lot of control to apply effects, but Deku's just doing it so casually, you know? And I heard he looks pretty good without the mask. Mandalay would then tell everyone that they have to get to the camp. You have 3 hours. Oh, and watch out for the beasts. From below, Mydoria, upon hearing this, would smile as he cocks back his fist, and they slowly begin to see space warp around them. He learned something when he went to save Ida. Because One For All compounds quirks and grows them, like I said, as they're passed on, they get stronger and stronger, he can draw on the rarest energy of One For All and, you know, evolve the use of his abilities now, like he should be able to. The trees surrounding them begin to tear from the ground and gather into the sky, unveiling these so-called beasts. Everyone gets on guard as Koda tries to manipulate them because he assumes they're animals, but he can't. That's because they're made of sand, shouts Mydoria. Let's just break them. His hands would then clap, and those gathered trees would displace and suddenly appear in the bodies of those creatures as they are torn apart. With this move, all of 1A charges. The heavy hitters take the lead, wreaking havoc. Todoroki raises a massive iceberg forward and cocks back his fist with the flame. Mydoria! Deku appears above him, saying to fire, and as he releases his flames, they are pulled and intensified, ramming into the ice and burning it, causing an explosion of ice to rain down on the forest. This also opens up a path for them, and they quickly run. Of course, though, Pixie wasn't gonna stop and created more monsters. As they run to find another horde ahead of them, Mydoria simply swings across with a knife hand. Sever. All of them are instantly blown up, and all that sand, all the sand that formed these creatures freezes and begins to gather into spheres that would then begin to be thrown back towards the cliff. One crashes right at the edge of the cliff, and Pixie would jump back, avoiding it. It actually did a lot of damage. That crazy little... As they look up, they find a volley of them heading their way as Mandalay tells Koda to hide in the car. He runs and does so immediately. What's wrong with that guy? Thinks Koda. Is he crazy? The hell did you just do? Asked Katsuki. They said to get through the forest. They never said we couldn't attack back. Some of them look back, seeing that he had rained down hell on them, and cheer. Because, seriously, they gotta stop messing with these kids. With this, they can just focus on conserving their stamina, because the teachers know if they send more beasts, they'll face the same thing again. They do not want to underestimate Mydoria. So they make it in under 45 minutes this time, and the teachers hadn't arrived yet, so they wait. And they arrive not long after in the bus. When they exit, though, they are livid and are also covered in dust and mud. So, you made it, said Pixie Bob. Now I can kill you. She runs and claws at Mydoria, but can't reach as he would nervously apologize. He pulls down the blindfold. I was just excited to begin training, sorry. Oh, yeah, right. Of course you are. It's completely fine. Sorry about that. Kaminari and Mineta, being who they are, call him out immediately because, well, they're kind of jealous. But he says he was just trying to be earnest. That's never really happened. People just calming themselves after seeing his eyes. Though obviously he doesn't realize what just happened here. Mandalay chuckles, saying that was some pretty good thinking. But seriously, never again. Got it? Yes, ma'am. Now they put their things in and settle. After they do, they get fed. It will be the first and last time they are, because after this, they gotta take care of themselves, and that's part of their training, to be a little bit self-sufficient. While they ate, from here on out, the only thing that really changes is how Deku saves Koda, because he also saves Mineta with his powers without having to get out of the onsen. He was just chilling, but he still brings Koda to Mandalay and hears his story. Then, bright and early the next day, they start ahead of 1B with their training because 1A got to excel and Aizawa was kind of a sadistic bastard. Everyone's training stayed the same, but Midoriya's was complex because his quirk is complex. He needed something different. It hurts. Too bad, shouts Aizawa. He then turns his hand to a button and fires a baseball from a machine into the air. Looking up, Midoriya swings and impacts the ball, lightly slicing it. You're slowing down, come on. Yes, sensei. Around Midoriya lay dozens of these baseballs, much of which he had only scratched but hadn't exploded, but he was supposed to, so he's been failing for a while now. This is because Aizawa told him to use the move that ignored space and struck his enemy regardless, and the amount of, just control needed to use such a move consecutively with his eyes bare was straining. So this is one of the ways that I'm going to always be testing Deku. Obviously, he's pretty young. Unlike Gojo, he has not had enough experience with his powers yet. So this is a good way to kind of, nerf him sometimes when I need the plot to come in. Now, upon arriving later, 1B found themselves horrified at what they saw. And it was their turn next. And so it went on like that for days. Midoriya still tries to give a bento to Koda, though he still refuses and kind of cusses him out. And then on the fourth day, they all got to do the test of courage, except those who actually didn't pass and had to do remedial classes. Aizawa would drag away Mina and Kaminari as they refused to study, unlike the others who just gladly go with them because, they're not dealing with that. Sorry guys, good luck. Looks like all of 1A didn't pass, shouts Monoma. How unfortunate. As he laughs into the air, everyone just looks at him wondering what was wrong with this guy. But then he's grabbed by Aizawa's scarf as well. I almost forgot. You're coming too. No! How can this be? Everyone begins to laugh. After all, it's pretty iconic because, Monoma is just a fucking weirdo. But accidentally, while everyone's just goofing around and shit, Midoriya and Akatsuki's gazes meet one another before they quickly look away. The tension between them had grown, it seemed, and Ochako notices, asking Midoriya, "You okay?" "I'm always okay. I'm just starting to get used to a few things. Like, well, we had an argument?" Now, the reason they got mad at each other is because they had another out, and that was yesterday. So we have a little flashback. In the woods, Katsuki would lean by a tree, tapping his foot incessantly. Suddenly, he sees Mydoria, who arrives, and asks him, "Why'd you call me here?" "Took you long enough. Don't even try that bullshit with me. I only got one thing to ask you. Your quirk. Are you..." Before he said what he was going to say, a new thought ran through his mind as he grinds his teeth. "How long have you been hiding it?" There's a look Midoriya shows which he never even thought he was capable of. It was disappointment. "I am done. You listen to me. There is no fucking way you got it last year." "Well, I did. Did you ever consider that maybe I'm just a separate case from everyone else? Why the hell did you call me out here, Katsuki? Tell me." Maybe I just think some loser bastard was laughing at me." Why am I saying that? I don't mean that." "Why the hell would I do that? All I ever wanted was to be like you. And what did I get? A face full of shit. You were my friend. You were supposed to believe in me." "You of all people." Katsuki couldn't even look him in the eye at this point, his face full of anger at himself. He didn't understand why he even called him here and why he said those things. He actually didn't mean to say that. It just came out. "Look at me. Look at me." Deku pulls down his blindfold, his eyes full of rage as he tries to contain his cursed energy. "I don't know what happened to you. You're not even the same person anymore. I don't even see you as human right now." Putting back his blindfold, he would leave, and these words stuck with Katsuki as he walked through the dark forest with Todoroki. "Oh, I see hot. Oh, you finally spoke. Shut up. I'm gonna ask you this once, so don't screw with me. What the hell did he tell you? What happened during that fight? Why the hell are you so different now?" "That's not what you really want to ask, is it?" "I told you not to screw with me." "Well, it feels like that's what you're doing to me. Ask what you really want, because I can see right through you." "Whatever, just forget it." Now, in this version of events, Midoriya was put with someone when they drew lots. He ended up with Momo, but they don't really have much in common. They don't have shit to talk about, so they're just awkwardly walking through the forest, being scared by one bee. And while they're doing so, she begins to cough. "What the..." The pain of the cough just as quickly subsides as Midoriya says to create a gas mask. "What?" The woods are suddenly flooded by a dangerous mist, and yet they are unhurt. "He's shielding me with his infinity. The mask." She creates one and puts it on. Additionally, it has goggles, and Deku says, "Good. I can see some students nearby. Everyone, this is Mandalay." The voice of the hero spreads to everyone around, even Koda up in his hiding spot on the mountain, and everyone is told the following. "Villains have attacked. There are 2 of them in front of me, Pixie and Tiger, but there might be more out there. To the kids in the forest, there's a fire spreading too, but please, everyone who isn't in the forest, stay together, and those who are, please make your way back. Do not engage the villains." Momo and Midoriya quickly move, passing mask to everyone, and because despite this mist, Midoriya can see everything clear as day due to his 6 eyes, they cover a lot of ground. They create a group containing Tetsu, Kendo, and Nanase. If you don't remember, not Nanase, it's Nawase. No, Awase. God, search it up. He's a dude that can weld things together. That's how Momo got her tracking chip on one of those Nomus. He's low-key goated, never got enough screen time. Just an opinion. So luckily, there are parts of the forest that aren't being reached by the mist, which show that clearly it was not just a simple vapor, but a controlled quirk. While they're helping out though, Midoriya is asked by Mandalay in his mind, "Please look for Koda. I can't see him anywhere." "Oh no, he's not down here, then he must be..." He looks to the mountain, panicked, and looks to Momo, but she didn't even need to hear what he had to say. She could tell from his look of distress. Just go, we got it from here. Yeah, don't con us out, says Tetsu. We got this. Thanks. Alright, I'll be back. As he looks to the mountain, he disappears, caving the floor in from the impact of his teleportation. He appears right atop the mountain, alerting Koda and Muscular. They then see him drop down and land. Koda, you okay? He's too shaken to frozen, and Mydoria yells again. Koda! Yeah, I'm fine. Good. I don't know who you are, but I'll give you an out. Surrender yourself, or I'll have to do this the hard way. Oh, really? Okay. I can see why people kind of like you, kid. I see it. I came for the loud one, but you're fun too. Reaching into his pocket, he brings out a sort of prosthetic eye, definitely kind of gnarly and weird. You like it? I call it my murder eye. Oh, I wonder why. Wait, no, shut up. Shut up. Everybody shut up. You high or something? As Muscular asks this, Mydoria says, I saw your face before. I saw it and I forgot it. I saw it. It was you. Midoriya's mind, now supercharged by his 6 eyes, recall lost information as he looks back to Koda, his look of absolute fear. He understood why the kid was scared now. He recalled an incident from years ago. This happened when he was a kid, about 2 heroes being brutally murdered. In that instant, everything is frozen. His eyes dilate and process all of this. It was you. As he looks back forward, Muscular will be lunging him, ready for battle. I only came to get some blood on my hands. Don't be boring. His arm is engulfed by layers of muscle as he swings, only to be reflected. Koda is knocked to the floor by the mere pressure of his strike. How did he do that? He thinks. You killed them, didn't you? As Midoriya's gaze rose to meet the villains, he felt a chill down his spine, and in a flash, he finds himself before the boy. Confused, he's then backhanded into the wall, shaking the mountain. He's then pulled out and meets his foot to the ribs. Oh, you little... He would then build up more muscle and erupt it everywhere, ripping off his cloak and shirt. He swings and swings, but misses every punch. Here's the difference between people and then you. He leaps and raises a question kick mark right into his neck, stumbling him back. You seem to think you're justified because you're strong. He blitzes and pummels him with Wing Chun strikes reinforced by his blue, forcing the villain to be pulled in while he's getting struck, until he then teleports behind him and brings down an elbow into his head. Ah! Muscular falls to his knees, struggling to stay conscious as Mydoria walks around and grabs his hair, punching him in the face. Upon doing this, space distorts, causing an explosion of black lightning. But you just got lucky. That's all it is. Luck. He swings again, causing another spark of black. Koda can't believe what he's watching right now. With another black flash into his stomach this time, the villain would have hurled to the floor what he had for lunch. You freaking bastard. How? He's then kicked in the face, crashing back into the wall. Don't mistake luck for worthiness. Honestly, I should just rid this world of your filth. But I never would. Walking up to him, he says this again to his face this time. I never would. Koda? Yeah. Let's get you back home. As he reaches his hand out, the boy would slowly walk to him, but then start to recluse a bit. Maybe it was because of how overwhelming he was, but he was kind of scared now. Mydoria picked up on that but let his hand down. Right, sorry, you're scary when you're mad. I know. Looking at Deku, Koda feels a weird sense of kinship. It's like looking at himself. And even just as a kid, he can tell that everything that he just said definitely wasn't about Muscular. He don't even know that guy. He is definitely a murderer and a monster. But right now, he does realize that if he doesn't go with him, he would probably regret it. So he musters some courage, puts his big boy pants on, and just takes his hand. You're so whiny for a hero. I thought you didn't believe in those. I don't. For now, I'll believe in you. Deku smiles, saying, good. Alright, hold on tight. He picks him up and disappears, and he reappears back at the campsite. Miss Mandalay, Just then, Koda shouts with fright for Pixie, who was bleeding out on the floor. Tiger and Mandalay were fine, but... Oh shit, it's that kid. Get out of his range, shouts Spinner. As he raises his hand, however, Magne and Spinner are pulled into the sky, crashing their heads against one another. And as they fall out cold, he drops Koda, runs to Pixie, and starts to heal her. As she heals, Tiger and Menelay would approach him, Menelay now holding Koda tight, never wanting to let go, and telling him to never, ever do this bullshit again. You gonna stay in my sights. You hear me? You know, typical mom, even though she's an aunt. And obviously, Koda agrees that was the most traumatizing thing ever. Then Mydoria asks, "You guys seen Ragdoll?" "I lost contact with her," says Tiger. "Damn it." He quickly runs back to the forest, and Tiger says to wait. "I know you're strong, but we'll need a force. A solid force." "It's fine, I can take care of it. I have a bad feeling." He runs into the forest, and Koda obviously asks, like, they're gonna help him, right? Like, this dude is trying to do everything on his own. And they say they will after they get him back to the shelter, then they will go join Mydoria. Luckily enough, Deku is strong, so they know they can handle himself. Now, as for the boy Wonder himself, he will be going through the forest, and he pinpoints Ragdoll's presence. He teleports there in an instant, and she runs into him, panicked. "Mydoria, run!" As he looks on ahead, a Nomu charges at them, grabbing hold of him, and he begins to spew this weird black sludge covering them. But an explosion of red flashes, tearing the Nomu to pieces and dispersing whatever that stuff was. "What was it trying to do?" asked Mydoria. Before she could answer, from the shadows and from the skies, Nomus begin to gather. There seem to be dozens of them. No, at least 30 by Midoriya's calculations. Okay, Miss Ragdoll? Yes? I'm gonna need to send you away." "Are you crazy? No, you're a student." "Yep, and I know the best way to handle these things." "No." "Seriously?" "Seriously." Okay then, I'll do it anyway. Sorry." As he grabs her shoulder, she disappears with the floor caving in. He would then pull down his blindfold. "Let's make this quick. You guys are really ruining this training camp." From the gaps, a red light beam would push them away and time would slow. "Maybe it's because of that weird black spark, but I feel so." He swings an uppercut in front of himself, and a Nomu behind him has its torso caved in. It spews blood onto him. He then stomps down, breaking in another one's skull to his left. Everything feels so much easier. Reminding himself of the training he had with Aizawa, he would use every single hit that he swings at the air and apply reverse of infinity onto it, while also applying red to basically get an omnidirectional attack. And for those who still don't get it, because maybe I explained it badly, he's using the opposite of separating space into an infinite series for defense, and can now instead transfer impact of whatever he does to hit you no matter where you are. He'll like flick in front of himself and you'll feel it because the motion is being transferred. It's kind of funny. It's kind of weird. I just thought it would be a cool power to add, especially because, you know, One For All be changing quirks and shit. He named this technique Reversal Void because I'm a boring dude and I have no other ideas. All right. Oof. In what took 2 minutes for him, let's say, in his mind, you know, like while he was doing this in his own zone, in the outside world, it took 30 seconds. So he was calculating, hitting every single Nomu, and he felt super long. But in the real world, anyone who saw him would have just thought he punched like a few times and they all died. They're torn apart, and he's left covered with blood, trying to catch his breath, his body shivering. All right, this isn't just an attack. This is coordinated. Think. Just then he recalls what Muscular said. "I came for the loud one. Kachan." Meanwhile, Bakugo and Todoroki face the villain known as Moonfish. Moonfish's quirk is definitely powerful, by the way, but it is most definitely taxing on his mental and physical health, as he rambles to himself while approaching them, and he uses the knives from his teeth to stay afloat like some kind of weird spider, and he's literally asking to see their flesh. Calm down, bruh. No Diddy? Alright, cool. Todoroki had a student on his back right now, so his movements were a bit hindered, but he suggests they don't get close to him. "What the hell do you want me to do? Stay here and die?" Moonfish then throws the blades forward, and with the step, Todoroki releases a massive ice wall before them. However, one of the blades do manage to pierce through, heading for Katsuki. He takes to the sky to avoid it, but the blade would just shift and head to stab him in the stomach, but he blasts away in time, and he lands before Shoto, pissed. Okay, this guy's clearly been in a lot of fights. Now the death row inmate uses his blades to leap over this ice wall and just keep attacking them again. Meanwhile, Midoriya on his way towards Katsuki and Todoroki would stop as his infinity would pause the momentum of a tree that was just randomly flung his way. He looks to the left and sees a bit of carnage not far from here. So he runs for it and he ends up seeing Shoji's back. Midoriya, are you okay? What happened to you? Don't worry, not my blood. What happened? That's really Tokoyami? As he loses control and Dark Shadow begins to take over and basically crash out, Tokoyami just begs them to leave. Just go save everyone. I can't hold them back. Hey, Tokoyami, it's okay. It's okay, says Deku. I got a bright light with me. You forget? Right here. Just look right here. As he raises a finger, on it a red begins to converge and Tokoyami's baited shadow would then, be destroyed because, well, Dark Shadow is susceptible to bright lights. Kind of pussy. But anyway, after flashing him with the red, not actually using the attack, Tokoyami falls and starts to regain focus, but barely. And he saw Midoriya and Shoji run to him. Thank you, just... Thank you. To give him, we're classmates. Look, guys, the villains came here for Bakugo. But why? Asked Tokoyami. They help him get up, and Deku would heal him, and then Shoji as well, saying, well, multiple reasons. He's brash, loudmouth, a crass dickhead. What else do you think they're after him? You can't mean they want to make him turn? Midoriya nods, but says that he might be all those things, but he's obsessed with being a hero. If they get him, he'll die because he'll fight them with everything he's got. Come on, him and Todoroki are nearby. They run and run with everything they have as they begin to hear the sounds of battle, specifically the sound of ice being chipped and a bit of explosions. And as they run, they're nearly pierced by a stray blade. Midoriya grabs and breaks it, and he and everyone look up, seeing Moodfish in the air, using his blades to move around. There you are. In a blink, Midoriya appears above the villain. Shoto and Katsuki see him. Red. He strikes, and the power transfers through his blades, shattering before Moonfish is sent crashing to the ground, defeated. Bakugo, we need to get you back to camp right now. The hell are you on about? And hey, what's wrong with you? The villains came looking for you, says Tokoyami. They're shocked to hear this. That's kind of a weird bomb to drop. But that's more the reason they should leave. Now, as they run, Katsuki asks, you good? What's up with you? I'll be good once you're safe. Just then, they stumble upon Ochako and Tsuyu mid-battle with Toga. Toga quickly escapes from Ochako, running into the woods, but then she catches a glimpse of Midoriya. Now, you know how it goes. Midoriya covered in blood and shit. Toga likes that, I'm not gonna lie. She a freaky-ass woman. Anyway, he reminds her of an old crush, and seeing him so quote-unquote beat up, because it's not his own blood, it's the Nomu's, starts to make her develop feelings. Just then, however, Midoriya swings, telling Katsuki who was behind him, to duck. As he does, Midoriya strikes someone into a tree. They all turn to see a masked villain who holds his ribs in pain. The boys get before Katsuki in a formation. I didn't even see him. Thanks, Bakugo. Oh, okay. How did you see me? Okay, you're as tough as they say, kid. Lucky for you, I'm not alone. Well, I guess lucky for me in this case. The same eerie black mist shows itself, and spewing from it first, Dabi comes too. He fires a blast of flames. Todoroki raises an ice wall, however, he finds it quickly melted. But the flames do stay at bay because Midoriya expands his barrier. However, he starts to bleed from his nose as he buckles. Midoriya, don't overdo it, shouts Tokoyami. It's fine. I'm healing. Fine. The flames would then stop to show twice, now present as well with Dabi. Just then from his left, Midoriya sees a leaping Toga, and Katsuki blasts her with an explosion, throwing her into a tree, and reminding everyone, just back the hell up, stay the hell away from us. Leave now, says Midoriya. They all feel his immense bloodlust. It's bone-chilling. However, this is just because his cursed energy is spiking and he's in an instinct state. He is moving with calculation, but mostly he's just moving on instinct. He will fuck you up. He won't kill you, but he'll fuck you up. And they're just mistaking it as bloodlust. He would never actually kill anyone, unless you push him. The hell are they teaching you at school, says Dabi. Doesn't he get tired? Thinks twice. I mean, we sent all those no-moves at him. Each of them had shock-absorbing quirks. What the hell? As his stare would intensify, Mydoria takes a moment and hold his hand forward. I don't know why you're here or what you want, but you say goodbye because you lost. In a blink, a black sphere takes place with the kids before disappearing, showing that they had all gone. What? He can teleport? The hell kind of monster is this kid? The students crash back at the training camp, being seen by the Wild Pussycats, Aizawa, and a few of 1A and 1B who had regathered from the forest. We're back? How do you do that? I mean, it's Mydoria. I mean, it's pretty expected, actually. Ragdoll then runs to them. Mydoria, you have a lot to... Where is he? Uraka would turn, saying that she's behind them, but then she panics seeing him fall to the floor. Kneeling down, she checks his pulse, and he begins to twitch and kind of convulse, and she cried out, asking someone help him. The students are horrified, not knowing what to do. Like, when it comes to battle, obviously, it's straightforward, but they're not really medics. Luckily, the adults take charge, and Tiger called an ambulance a while ago. They had just arrived, so perfect timing. The heroes would take care of everything. Luckily, no one was killed, and the villains realized that they had no more chance. Like, all the people gathered at the training camp, they have no way to win this. If they attack them all, they will get fucked up. So, they left. And no one was killed. No one was. And Ragdoll in this version of events is saved by Mydoria, so she keeps her quirk. But there were a lot of casualties for sure. One of which, obviously, being Izuku Mydoria, who is now being rushed to a hospital. But that brings this chapter to an end. Okay, guys. Yeah, this video was a little bit hard to film. When I film, I record everything. But I had no space, so Filmora, Wondershare Filmora, which is the software I use, it wouldn't let me like record any more voiceovers, and I had to delete a few things from my files. That kind of pissed me off. I never backed them up in the cloud, so those videos might be on YouTube, but to me, I think they might be lost forever. That sucks. But you live and you learn. Anyway, hope y'all enjoyed this. Tell me what else you would want in the third part, because I'm writing it right now. It has not been made in advance, so this is your time to tell me what you want me to put in there, because it is the finale. And then, surprise, surprise, after the finale, I'm gonna be doing a sort of like aftermath, small little, video to just describe how people went on, because there is a small chance I won't get time to, because, well, it's an hour long, but I'm covering a lot of stuff, and I like to be detailed. But tell me what you think. Have a good day, and enjoy y'all weekend, man. Peace. We out.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget.